Bring your paycheck stub, friends, because tonight's ledger decides what your retirement check looks like in 2032. Sunday morning on Fox, the Commissioner of Social Security made the administration's standing pitch. The program gets put on solid ground by going after waste, fraud, and abuse. It is a comforting message because it asks nothing of anyone except the fraudsters. Well, the program's own trustees published their report in June, and tonight we are reading the pitch against the paperwork. Spoiler, the paperwork does not cooperate. Start with the dates, because they are closer than they sound. The Retirement Trust Fund, the one that pays the checks you picture when you hear Social Security, is projected to run dry in 2032. The combined funds follow in 2034. Now, depletion does not mean the checks stop. It means the incoming payroll tax no longer covers scheduled benefits, and at that point, the law requires an automatic cut across the board. The trustees put that cut at about 22%, and I am quoting them, "It falls on current and future beneficiaries alike." Do the kitchen table math with me. Somebody who is 62 years old today is 68 in 2032. This is not your grandkids' problem. It is a first term of retirement problem. Now the size of the hole. And friends, hold on to something. The report's 75-year shortfall is $30.3 trillion. Last year's report said 26.1. That is a $4 trillion deterioration in a single year. Look at that chart. The line is not wobbling, it is climbing. And every year Congress waits, the levers get heavier. This is a structural gap, the distance between what the program is promised to pay and what its dedicated tax collects, compounding across 75 years. And here is where the pitch and the arithmetic part company. Waste and fraud are not nothing. Improper payments exist, they should be clawed back. And an agency tightening its controls is just doing its job. Respect. But now, the scale. Recovered improper payments are measured in billions at the very most. The shortfall is measured in tens of trillions. One is a rounding error against the other. And nothing in the trustees' report attributes the gap to fraud. The report is an actuarial projection, taxes in, benefits out. The gap it finds is the distance between those two lines, not a leak somebody is stealing through. So what actually closes a $30 trillion gap? The trustees name the levers, and there are exactly two. Raise the payroll tax, cut benefits on the order of 3.65 percentage points, or blend the two. That is the whole menu. Those levers are big, and they are unpopular. And that, friends, is precisely why a fix that never has to name them polls so well on Sunday morning television. Who benefits from the waste and fraud framing? The do-nothing option. Reframe a funding gap as a management problem and nobody has to cast a hard vote, while the 2032 clock keeps running on 70 million people's checks. We have read this exact play before, by the way. 2 weeks ago, the Treasury Secretary said tariff inflation never barked, and the Fed's own minutes published the bark. Today, the pitch is fraud cleanup, and the program's own trustees published the arithmetic. Same shape every time. The comforting line on television refuted by the administration's own paperwork. You do not need my opinion. You need their documents. And their documents say 2032 minus 22%, $30.3 trillion. Bottom line, and say it at the kitchen table tonight, because this is the sentence that matters. Your Social Security check gets cut 22% in 2032, unless Congress picks a lever. And the plan on television this morning was find the fraudsters. The program is not months from collapse, and it is not a fraud cleanup away from fixed. It is on a documented path that only Congress can change, by naming the choices the comfortable framing exists to avoid. 30.3 trillion, up 4 trillion in 1 year. 70 million checks on the clock. That's the math. Organize accordingly. I'm Marcus, and this is Pixel Politics.